Reading a lot of books will not make you a successful person. I love reading. As you know, behind me and all the other videos on this channel, I've talked about book recommendations, I've talked about how to learn better and how to read better. Of course, reading has contributed to many people's successes, but it's not the only thing that has contributed to people's successes, of course. Action has. So in this video, we're going to go over some aspects of reading and how it's not the one and do all. It's not the main thing that's going to make you successful. And you could probably take a guess, the main thing that is going to help you progress in your life, it's action. So let's get into the different aspects of this video, and I hope you can learn quite a lot from it. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button and let's get into the video. So the topics covered in this video are passive versus active action, just in time versus just in case information. You just need one really good book or a few great books to help you, loss of originality, and stop, drop, and do. Those are the main topics that will be covered in this video. So if you want to skip around from chapter to chapter, I will create that chapter down below and you can skip around to the topic that feels best for you to gain the knowledge that you need to apply. But otherwise, I recommend watching from beginning to end as each of these points builds upon each other. So first, let's talk about passive versus active action. So as many of you know, I'm a teacher at a secondary school, and I see so many times with students and the education system in general that it's very passive. You know, we've got textbooks and also books behind us, right? When we're doing personal development, we have our textbooks and then we are asked to read the textbooks and then maybe asked to write about it. And this is what we call passive information. We're learning about it just through reading and not actual hands-on doing. Although I would have to say that writing is part of the active action, depending on what type of career or what the goal is of the information that we're gaining. For example, authors, of course, are writers, and therefore when they're getting information from sources that they're reading about and then they're synthesizing that information in written format, that is their action. People who create videos, if they're getting knowledge from outside and then synthesizing that knowledge and create the video, that is actually part of an action. So your goal of acquiring knowledge should be to take active action on that knowledge, synthesize the knowledge, and then do something with it, rather than being passive and then reading for the sake of reading, rather than reading for the sake of taking action. This leads into the next point of just in case information and just in time information. Now I find just in time information actually comes even more handy in blogs, newsletters, and YouTube videos. When you want to find something really quickly, you need a solution to a problem, what do you usually do? You type into Google or you type into ChatGPT or something like that, and you find a quick answer to one of your problems, and then that will help you to actually follow through and take active action on the knowledge that you gained. Books are not as good at doing this because books, of course, take a longer time to get through. I see books as a source of information like a slow burn, right? We're reading through that book slowly, gaining the knowledge, and then slowly implementing what we're learning in the books. As a reader and learner and action taker, when you're seeking information, you're not going to just be seeking just in case information, reading about things that you're interested in just because you're interested in. You're going to be actually reading something that is meaningful to you and is applicable to you. Rather than just reading books, I also recommend seeking just-in-time information through useful newsletters, blogs, and YouTube videos. Save the books for slow burn information. but still just in time because it's useful for you at the time in your life. One of the biggest factors holding people back from their success in life, in whatever goals that they're trying to reach, is reading way too many books. Now you can see behind me, I've been collecting these books since 2015. I started just with one book. And over time, of course, I've collected a whole lot more books. But I have found that only a very small percentage of these books are actually useful. There is some good information in all of them, but there's only really a small number of great books. You can see some of them just stacked up right here. These ones are great applicable books, and some of these others over here are great as well, but not as good and not as applicable. And I found that maybe sometimes I was seeking just in case information, and I've learned over the years that just in time information is so much more useful because I can apply the information right away. So seek books that are going to be just in time information rather than just in case information. And over time you will start to realize which books, when you go to the bookstore or you're looking on Amazon or Audible or Kindle and going through those books, you can realize, okay, I can get a sense for which books are actually going to be useful for me. And if you do end up picking up the book thinking that it's going to be very useful for you, but then it ends up being not so useful and you can't really apply much of the information, or maybe just the way that it's written is poor and you can't get too much from it at that time, drop it, right? Set it down. You can always pick it up at another time, or you can just drop it completely and just say, this book is not meant for me. I know that you spent the time and the money on the book, but think about the actual time that you need to spend progressing, which means that you need to take action on what you've learned from that book, and the rest of it you can just throw out the window and save your time by taking action rather than trying to say, I'm going to finish this book just because I bought it. No, that's not the right approach. The right approach is for you to make progress by doing something. I also find that for people that continually read 52 plus books per year and continually try to apply different strategies rather than focusing on the strategies that actually work, hinder themselves. So it's much better for you to actually stick to the strategies that actually work rather than continually seeking new strategies. If you already know that this strategy works, why not stick with that? And of course, if you want to gradually seek new strategies, that's fine, but continue doing what actually works for you rather than seeking new ways of doing things that hinder your progress. I also feel and know from personal experience and observation that reading or relying on reading too much information can actually hinder your originality. Loss of originality because you're relying on that information, relying on seeking the information rather than actually creating your own individual voice, individual creations, innovations, and ways of doing things. So seek out your own individuality by being inspired by books, but also synthesizing your own personal takeaways, your own personal reflections, and grow as a person. Grow your creations originally with your own personality. So along your way in your journey, focus on experimentation. Focus on exploration rather than seeking just in case information. Focus on doing. Stop, drop, and do. Continue with making your life better through action and exploration and reflection. And of course, by all means, if you need to continue to learn, then do so. Continue to seek information, but make sure that information is applicable. If it's not, then drop it and continue progressing, continue seeking new information that is applicable. I hope that you have found this video interesting and applicable, and get out there, start doing things, read more great books that are applicable in your life. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And I hope to create some more great content for you in the future. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.